Joining me now, retired four-star General Wesley Clark. He served as the NATO Supreme Allied Commander, and retired Major General Paul Eaton, who was a commanding general during the Iraq War and currently serves as a senior advisor for the organization Vote Vets. Thank you both so much for joining me. General Clark, let me start with you. We now have video. I played it at the top of the show that shows Marines in Los Angeles have carried out their first detainment of a civilian in Los Angeles. The young man they detained is also a veteran. He said they were doing his job, they were just doing their jobs. But I wonder what you think of those images of U.S. forces detaining Americans on U.S. soil.
I think it's a very, very tragic and improper image. It gives the wrong message to the public about the United States Marine Corps and the armed forces. And these Marines are there basically for no good reason other than to look tough and to promote President Trump's domestic political agenda. You know, the Secretary of Defense said he wanted to emphasize lethality. Well, this is no emphasis on lethality. These Marines should be back at 29 Palms or wherever they were training and getting ready to go work against China or secure the Philippines or through their training simply deter China. But that's not happening. Instead, they're part of a domestic political show, essentially.
General Eaton, I've spoken with a number of veterans and former active duty military this week, including Jake Auchincloss, who made the point that at 29 Palms, they're trained, which is where these Marines are coming from, for overseas, of course, deployment, for using lethal force. And they're being asked to do things that they shouldn't be asked to do. And in fact, some of the reporting suggests from The Guardian that some of the National Guard troops and Marines have been deeply troubled by their deployment in Los Angeles. I want to ask you about this because I don't think there's been enough focus on what the men and women serving our country have been, the position they have been put in here as well. I wanted to know what you thought about that.
Jen, indeed. The men and women of the armed forces of the United States did not join our services to work inward, to do basic police work that they are not trained for, that we train our great men and women in blue to do after many, many weeks of training. That's not why they chose to become soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors. This is a great disappointment to them. I am confident that they feel extremely uncomfortable doing what's been asked of them in Los Angeles.
It seems that is played out in the reporting as well. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. I want to bring you both back to Washington, D.C. I'm obviously here tonight. We're going to see there's this parade tomorrow. The National Mall has been kind of taken over by military equipment. This seems to be, the White House is still saying this is a celebration of the Army, which of course we all want to honor, but we all know it's the celebration of Trump's birthday. General Clark, let me just start with you and get your sense of what you think about all of this happening tomorrow.
Well, we certainly wouldn't be doing this if it weren't President Trump's birthday. That's the first thing. Secondly, it's an expensive proposition. Third, it takes training time away. So it's not just the 4 days that the troops are up there. They probably spent the last 10 days getting ready for it, sizing up, making sure people were deployable. Now, let's face reality. There'll be some of these gals who've never been to D.C. They may say, hey, we're going to get an afternoon off. I'm going to get to see a baseball game or go look at the Washington Monument. And for these people, it'll be okay. But for the organization, for the purpose of it, you can't imagine how hard our Army works. Brigades are deployed overseas. They have to train up to get there. They come back. Most of these soldiers are married. They need family time. And now, in the middle of this, we've brought these men and women up here to Washington, D.C. for essentially a fantasy. The fantasy that the United States is like third world countries. We have to have the military parade to look really strong and really great. We don't usually do this. This is not our tradition. It's not the best use of the armed forces. And it plays right into the politicization, Jen, that you mentioned in the Fort Bragg speech, which is anathema, should be, to the men and women, and especially the leadership, because the leadership of the Army has to be non-political. You serve whoever's the commander-in-chief. You give your best advice. You don't tune it to the politics of the party in power. You tell it like it is. And yet all of that's getting blurred and sullied by this administration. It is very worrisome.
It also feels like so many of the troops and military are being used as a form of props, or that's sort of how I see it. But General Eden, how do you see the parade and all of the politicization that we've seen over the last week plus?
Again, to borrow from Senator Rand Paul, what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now is a very bad look for the armed forces of the United States and for our country, before our allies and before the world. And as part of a greater crisis of civil-military relations that this president and his administration have triggered, the spectacle of what happened at Fort Bragg is a new low for a failure on the part of civilian leadership to understand the armed forces of the United States, to stay out of politics with the armed forces as backdrops. That was a disgusting display of just a complete disregard for the good order and discipline of the armed forces of the United States, where young men and women were behaving the way they were, jeering our fourth estate and elected American officials. A sad day.